Hello student, welcome to the lecture on the challenges of cultural diversity, and after this lecture we will be able to learn the following objectives. Explain about diverse culture of India, describe to acquaint with the regionalism, discuss the problem of regionalism in development of nation, describe the communalism of India, brief about a catechism and patriarchy. Let us start our lecture by brief discussing the cultural diversity in India. Cultural diversity means a variety of human societies or cultures in a specific region or in the world as a whole. People from all over the world have become one with the culture of India. India is vast geographically, which gives it a vast variety of homes, food, clothing, occupation and hobbies. Also, since all religions are living together, it gives India a chance to speak different languages and celebrate different festivals. Culture of diversity. Let us study the fundamental diversities in India. First is geographical diversity. India has large variety of physical features ranging from most fertile lands of the world in Indo-Gangetic plains to the most barren land in certain areas of Rajasthan. There is also a sharp climate contrast from blazing heat of plains to the freezing point in Himalayas. India does not uniform rainfall too, while Cherrapunji in Meghalaya gets 460 inches of rainfall per year. Sindh and Rajasthan get hardly 3 inches of rainfall. However, this variety in climate makes India richest in variety of flora and fauna. Let us move on to the second fundamental diversity. It is racial diversity. According to Professor V.A. Smith, India is an ethnological museum in which numberless races of mankind can be studied. The races in India consist of jungle tribes, Greeks, Kushanas, Arabs, Turks, Afghans, etc. The physical features and colors of Indians also differs from region to region. Next in fundamental diversity is the linguistic diversity. Almost 400 languages are spoken in India. Some of these are Bengali, Assamese, Marathi, Tamil, Telugu, Punjabi, Malayalam, Kashmiri, Kannada, Urdu, etc. Besides languages, India has some popular script such as Pali, Devanagari, Kharosthi, etc. Fourth diversity is religious and social diversity. In the religious sphere, India possesses a great diversity since Hindus, Muslims, Brahmins, Jains, Christians live together. Each religion is further divided into sects and division. In the social sphere too, we observe that the customs and manners of people also vary. Their clothing, eating habits, customs show great variety. Another diversity is the political diversity. Due to difference in race, religion and language, India is divided into several independent principalities. This unity has been exploited by foreign invaders. It seems that uniting India politically is difficult. Social tension in India. India is home to a vast variety of people with different race, culture, religion and language. This hampered political unity of India. Also, traditional Indian society was arranged into a hierarchy where some groups were discriminated against and some were considered untouchables. Due to all these, several social tensions prevail here. We shall explain a few events here. Firstly, the partition of India created a disturbance in the relation between Hindus and Muslims. Secondly, there are separatist movements which create political instability. It could be demand for separate political entities, northeastern states, border tension, Kashmir, or Naxalite movement, Bihar and MP. Caste-related prejudice and discrimination rises when people socialize. This creates caste-based alliances which play an important role in political matters. On the whole, the tension in lives of people at individual, family and community people is due to pattern of social change, namely migration of people from villages to cities, economic inequality, spread of education and media. Regionalism. What is a region? We can answer this question from views of many scholars. A region is a defined territorial unit and a nucleus of a social aggregation for multiple purposes. According to Odom and Murray, a region is a set of geographical traits which define and distinguish a particular area and give it a distinct character. According to Penguin Dictionary of Geography, region is an area on Earth's surface with one or more features which give it a measure of unity and differ it from areas surrounding it. In this sense, region is an amalgamation of spatial, physical and socio-economic features. According to Kohn, a region may be divided into four structures. They are historical, linguistic, cultural and social. Regionalism means excessive attachment to a particular region or state as against the country as a whole. It arises due to feeling of continuous neglect by the government or due to political awareness of backwardness. The negative regionalism is a threat to the unity of the country. The positive regionalism expresses people's love for their region and culture. Regionalization affects and is affected by the system as a whole, level of inter-regional relations and internal structure of a region. Regionalization does not happen unless states want it. It occurs as a result of political disintegration. Regionalism in India has various forms. Demand for state autonomy. Some states require greater autonomy from the center, which means less interference by center in state affairs. Secession from the union means the state demands separation from the center and establish independently. Let us talk about the development of regionalism in India. Invested by the Britishers to be able to maintain a hold over our country, regionalism still is retained by the people. It makes its appearance by winning of regional parties over large political parties in their states, example DMK in Tamil Nadu and Akali Dal in Punjab. Though the constitution tried to induce a feeling on oneness among the people by a unified judiciary, central government and Indian services. Let us study a few causes for the growth of regionalism. The first reason is have and have-nots. It means contradiction out of the development strategy. It is explained by the gap between the producer and the consumer states. The second reason is the culture aspect. Minority groups seek protection of their culture, language and development against the majority groups. The third reason for growing regionalism is a growing population. This leads to economic frustration. Other reasons like attempt by government to improve a particular ideology, neglect of an area by the ruling party and maintenance of subcultural reasons may have also given rise to regionalism in India. Now let us study the determinants of regionalism in India. Firstly, it is the geographical factors. The geographical distinctiveness gives a symbolic identity which needs economic and political props for its resurgence from time to time. The second determinant is a historical factor. This creates difference in social heritage, myths, attitude and regionalism. The third is a socio-cultural factor. The difference in regional caste, subcaste and kingship difference motivate regional feelings. Fourthly, the socio-economic imbalance between regions is the curse of regionalism. The uneven pattern of capital investment and distribution explains this fact. And lastly, all regionalism is a form of politics. It is against the centralization of power and administration. Communalism. India is home to people of many races, religions and languages. This has given rise to violence and hatred. Communalism has a few features as you can see on your screen. An analysis of characteristic features of communalism that the complex relation between communalism and community has been overlooked. Caste groups, linguistic groups, sects and cultures are also communities but have been considered as religion in the study. This has been inherited from colonialism. There has been an unparalleled growth of communalism and communal tensions in India. Also, there is a complementary relation between communalism and politics. Communalism in India. In India, communalism has taken a different meaning of religion, ethnicity-based sectarianism promoting communal violence espoused by political and socio-religious movements. Prior to 1947, communal riots were due to divide and rule policy, but in independent India, the causes could be many factors. First, the class division of Indian society and backwardness leading to uneven development. Secondly, the religious propaganda by communal parties creates communal violence. Sometimes large cities are prone to communal riots because of power of gangs. For example, demolition of Babri Masjid. Communal riots occur in towns having such a history like Aligarh and Hyderabad. summary. Now in the end, let us summarize what we have learned in this lecture. Cultural diversity is of 5 types, namely geographical diversity, racial diversity, linguistic diversity, religious and social diversity, political diversity. Social tension in India are due to tension between Hindus and Muslims, separatist movements and caste-related prejudice. Region is a defined territorial unit and a nucleus of a social aggregation for multiple purposes. Regionalism means excessive attachment for a particular region or state against the country as a whole. Causes for growth of regionalism are have and have-nots, cultural aspects, growing population, improving a particular ideology, neglect of an area, desire to maintain subcultural reason. The determinants of regionalism are geographical factors, historical factors, socio-cultural factors, socio-economic factors, political factors. Communalism is a principle or a practice of living together and sharing possessions and responsibilities. Features of communalisms are based on orthodoxy, exclusive in outlook, based on intolerance, propagates dislikes of other religions, stands for eliminations of other religions, adopts extremist tactics.